Hey guys, Jay Young with Young Red Angus. Thank you so much for making this video a part of your day. Have you ever been preparing for a YouTube video and then all of a sudden, right before it starts, you were chewing on something and bit the living crap out of the tip of your tongue? No? Just me? Fantastic! Well, have you ever been in the middle of filming a YouTube video and all of a sudden your phone gives you this stupid warning right here? Again, just me? Well, awesome! I hope you guys understand what I've been going through in the last 30 minutes, 40 minutes of the day trying to prepare for this video. It's almost as if it's not meant to happen, but I'm telling you, we're gonna get it in. Today's video, I'm really excited to talk to you about oats and wheat and what the pros and the cons of both crop are, what the drought tolerance, which one has a better drought tolerance, which one yields better, which one has a better relationship with mycorrhizal fungus, which one has a better root structure, and why both of them are good options for your farming operation, especially in dry environments. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm also going to talk to you about why I hate wheat, why I've wanted to get wheat out of our rotation, and why I'm changing my mind, and what crop is getting me to change my mind, and it's not oats. So let's roll the intro and get into it.
And this is what we all feel, let's just not deny it. Something pulls and it tears in the deepest place. This is what we all know. Why must we still fight it? It's time to open our eyes and acknowledge the writing on the wall.
Hey guys, this episode is brought to you by Green Cover Seeds. So in this video, when we talk about the amazing oats that we planted, they are Hayden oats, and you can get them from, you guessed it, Green Cover. So go to greencover.com to get your oats today. To start this video off, I want to address the elephant in the room. Most people are thinking this is a non-question. Wheat kicks oats' butt worldwide. The top 4 crops grown worldwide: wheat, corn, rice, potatoes. Oats isn't in there. On average, wheat yields more and is more drought tolerant than oats. I think most people watching this video are thinking, then why are we even discussing this? And the answer is because there's a lot more to it than just drought tolerance and yield. What are we doing for our soil, and what is it taking to set wheat up for it to be a successful crop? In our area, you have to have a long fallow period to set up wheat for it to be successful. You can't go in behind milo or corn on a regular basis year in and year out and expect that yield, or that the yield on the wheat to be there. So people in my area have a long fallow period to set up wheat, whether it's no-till or tillage. The problem with that mindset is that when you are having a long fallow period to set up your wheat, you're only able to capture 20% of the moisture when you're doing a no-till system and 15% of the moisture when you're doing a tillage system. That's not an efficient way to farm, having that long fallow period. You're also, when you have a long fallow period, you're killing a majority of the fungus species, a majority of the bacteria species, and nearly all of the fungus species. So we have very few bacteria species out in a tillage system, probably a little bit more in a no-till system, and we want to keep those fungus and bacteria species alive as we realize the benefit of regenerative agriculture and how fungus and bacteria, what role they play in bringing the plant's macro and micronutrients and fighting off parasitic funguses and other things that would attack the plant, and also improving the overall health of the plant. We really want to think about eliminating the fallow period. So that's why this is a conversation to have, is that what are the pros and cons of both plant, and what role do they play in our agricultural systems? All right, now I'm gonna get a little bit more into the differences between wheat and oats comparison-wise as far as plants and how it regards to regenerative agriculture, and then I'll talk about our own experiences growing oats and wheat. Oats way kicked wheat's butt this year, and that's kind of what sparked me to talk about, or to bring up this video. So we talked about yield. Wheat typically yields more than oats, didn't this year for us, and it's typically more drought tolerant. Now let's dive into the area of root systems and mycorrhizal fungus. Oats have a dense and fibrous root system that is amazing, and they have a phenomenal relationship with mycorrhizal fungus. So the denseness and the expansion of the root system of the oats has an ability to colonize with mycorrhizal fungus in ways that few cereals can. It is one of the best in that area. So it beats wheat in those areas, even though wheat also has a relationship with mycorrhizal fungus. Here's the problem with wheat though. Because of the way it's been bred year after year after year with the focus of yield, some wheat, because of having it in systems where there's a ton of tillage or even no till, it's learned to survive without an extensive relationship with mycorrhizal fungus. So some wheat varieties don't even have a relationship with mycorrhizal fungus anymore. This is a bad thing, because if we're wanting to improve the overall health of the plant, we're not going to efficiently do it without having a good mycorrhizal fungus system within our fields. So that's where I give the edge to oats, is that also when you're growing oats, for us in our area, you're going to plant oats in the spring following corn or milo. That is not something that you can do in our area with wheat, because you got to plant wheat in the winter right after the wheat or right after the corn or milo comes off. And in my area of Kansas, that rarely works out. So that's another edge where you can give to oats is you can get oats into your system in our area without having to have that long fallow period. So let's talk about our personal experience this year. We had 1,700 acres of wheat, and we had 160 acres of oats. So literally more than 10 times more wheat than oats. And the reason is because we don't typically grow oats. We grew oats one year before this is your crash crop. I love it on our where we're grazing our cattle and using it in a cover crop system because of the benefits to the soil. So that's why it's not something we've typically grown in the past. That being said, I love the way it turned out this year. So we set both of them up basically the same way. We gave both of them about 40 pounds of nitrogen, both the wheat and the oats. We also did not give either crop FOS. So that's how we set it up. And then we treated both plants. We treated the wheat with a Johnson Sioux Bio 5 mix, and then we treated the wheat with a Johnson Sioux Fed and Happy mix. So they both got compost extract to their root systems. We thought that in May, Dad and I had a conversation, we might not even cut our wheat if we don't catch this rain this week. It started raining that week of May, and every single week since then, we've got half an inch to an inch 30 every single week except for 1 week, and that week we got 2,500. So we've been really blessed with a lot of moisture this year. That being said, because of the way the wheat went through that long of a drought time where it was drought stressed, and the oats only spent a little bit of time being drought stressed in the very beginning, the oats way outperformed our wheat. I haven't asked Dad for the numbers. I probably should have done that before this video, but I think our wheat averaged somewhere in the 40s bushels per acre. I think our county average is 42 over the last 20 years. So it's okay. Our best yielding wheat field was in the county north of here, and it yielded 59 bushels an acre. Our oats on that 1 quarter, so 160 acres, I cut the field in half because I knew the south half would not be as good. It averaged in the 60s, and the north half averaged right at 90 bushels an acre. So even the field that the soil's not is more poor yielded better than any of our wheat yielded, and the north half yielded 30 bushels an acre better than our wheat did. I think that'll probably happen 1 year out of 10 where you get a situation like that where oats would out yield wheat this way, just because of our area and the way the weather patterns work. So why not just start growing oats and eliminate wheat from your system? I would love that. The problem is not every year does the oats even do that well. I've done some cover crops on dry land that were oat based, and it was a complete disaster because the oats struggled. Then they put on a head, then it rained, and then the weeds just exploded through the oats. And so oats has its own challenge and isn't going to be something that, man, every year it's without its hiccups. Another challenge is that, you know, every elevator you go to will take wheat, whereas oats, I would have to have a prior arrangement, you know, to get oats there. Typically oats are quite a bit under wheat, especially when this year where there's a high demand for wheat. You know, wheat's $7.50, the spot price of oats is $4.70. But that's why we grew it the way we grew it. You know, we did just one field. I just bought a seed cleaner. We're going to be able to clean it. So I'm hoping to be able to get around the $10 a bushel mark for our oats because it's been cleaned, and I'm hoping to sell it to other farmers in the area for baling and for, you know, the purpose of doing cover crops. So it has a role in our system that I think we're going to continue to try to utilize going forward. It also helps us save on some of our cover crop cost when we're able to have a majority of our spring mix already with us because we've been saving our oats. So it has its own role in our system. It's not something where we can just eliminate wheat now and go to oats, to go to go to a system where it's oats, corn, you know, Milo or oats, you know, whatever, just so that we can eliminate that fallow period. Here's why I'm optimistic about wheat. It's a crop called camelina. So we're going to start this year planting camelina. And so we'll harvest that camelina, and then following camelina, we'll plant, you know, wheat. So typically wheat following wheat doesn't do that great. I believe because camelina is a brassica that has a deep tap root, having a different type of root system in beforehand and not just going wheat on wheat and breaking that cycle will help. Also, camelina seems to do good from what I've seen going behind Milo, even in our dry environment, planting it behind Milo or corn and then being able to harvest it where that's not something that wheat is capable of. So I'm optimistic that if we can get some camelina planted and that camelina does well, that we can keep wheat in our system and still be regenerative and have things, you know, going well for us. I really want to bring this last point in. All of this is a huge challenge. It's a challenge figuring out what's going to work in our dry and arid environment. And I'm really, I want to use the word sick and tired, but I'm not sick and tired. I like the challenge. It can be frustrating at times, but I love the mission. The mission is to get as many people doing regenerative agriculture as possible because we are losing our topsoil. And we cannot continue to farm the way we've been farming because we lose topsoil at a much higher rate than what we can replace it with. And there will be a day of reckoning where there will be no more topsoil. Read the book Dirt. It is a fascinating book about how a lot of civilizations destroyed their economy because of poor farming practices and fell as a civilization because they couldn't figure out the farming question. And so I think I know it's an incredible thing to undertake for us is to pursue soil health. And so, you know, it's not without its challenges, but we're facing challenges now that we're ignoring. We're losing topsoil and we're ignoring it. We're having, you know, blue algae created by FOSS runoff, and we're having nitrate poisoning in our water system because of runoff from nitrogen in erosion events because of poor farming practices. We can't continue to ignore these things. And so that's why I'm so passionate about these things, because I know we can make a difference and we can make a difference together. You watching this, you may not have a YouTube channel, but you have a voice, and you have a voice in your community, and you can patiently explain these things to your neighbor. And I hear this all the time. My neighbor is hard-headed and he doesn't want to hear. You keep loving them, you keep patient, you keep speaking the things that you are experiencing and know to be true about soil health, and they will eventually start to listen and change, because they're going to experience it at some point. So stay the course, stay passionate, stay patient, know what you're doing is making a difference, and keep pursuing soil health. I love having this channel. I love having the community that we have in regenerative agriculture. Thank you guys for everybody that supports this channel and watches. I'm excited about what the future holds. Like I said, it's not without its challenges, but it is the direction that we have to go. God bless you guys. This is Jay Young out.